Hi. So, all right, get this. Dihydrogen monoxide, short for DHMO, is a chemical that is colorless, odorless, and tasteless. Its overdose symptoms include excessive sweating, nausea, vomiting, and may even lead to death. It is a major component of acid rain, as well as tumors of terminal cancer patients. It contributes greatly to the greenhouse effect and may cause severe burns when it is in a gaseous state. Also, it accelerates the corrosion of various metals and rocks. Despite all that, factories dump out DHMO into the rivers and seas every day because technically that act is illegal. And one time, the American government refused to ban the substance because of its importance to the economic health of the nation. And currently, the militaries all over the world, such as the ones from North Korea, Japan, and China, are investing millions and millions of dollars to develop a weapon using DHMO in case of warfare situations. Now, do you think that dihydrogen monoxide should be regulated? I don't think so, because you'll be surprised to hear that dihydrogen monoxide is just another name for water. Because you know, di, 2, hydrogen, H, monoxide, O, H2O, which is water. See, now that was a project by a 14-year-old student named Nathan Donner. It was a science petition called How Gullible Are We? But if you really track back on why people are so gullible, it's probably because you didn't really question what you heard. For example, unless we are related to a topic, we don't really care much, do we? Because I don't. And that is when we start to absorb opinions. You know, the one that's not your own, but that just sounds legitimate. Well, the petition sounded quite reasonable, didn't it? They were all true facts, but the way it was presented made the difference to make you think that you should ban water. So when that opinion or information becomes a fact or is placed in your head, it's very likely to become a misconception because a lot of information or opinions are heavily biased or false. So, and I personally find misconceptions very dangerous because a lot of them can actually shape the society. So what I'm actually here for is to tell you that we should question what we hear, listen to the opposition, and the most important of all, have your own opinion. But first things first, I want to talk about our common misconceptions. You know, the one we all believe in. For example, Albert Einstein. He is currently considered as one of the greatest scientists in human history. And a lot of people believe that he was a terrible student when he was young, right? And we students try to get an excuse for getting bad grades because even the great Einstein got bad grades. But unfortunately for us, he himself wrote in the newspaper that he was years ahead of his age group. Or sugar. It's a very common belief, between parents especially, that sugar makes children hyper. But that is actually false, according to pediatrist and journalist Erin Carroll. As our final example, I want to take Facebook. Facebook is currently the biggest social media ever, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of you have Facebook accounts. And then we start to see these kind of images and quotes shared around our wall, if you can read. I mean, have a look at this. He loved ribs and steak. He didn't even meat, and he didn't even say that. In the quote, you'd think that he was a vegetarian, but he never was a vegetarian, and he loved meat, and he ate meat every day in every meal, in fact. So, see, on Facebook, people can make facts up just like this. And in some social media websites, it's pretty easy to make a quote up. So it's pretty easy. You put a famous person's photo up, and you write a deep quote just like this. It says, "The thing about quotes on the internet is that you cannot confirm their validity," said by Abraham Lincoln. See, now, on internet, not only Facebook, people can make facts up and opinions up. And some can actually take advantage of that. So, there are so many common misconceptions all around us. Why is that? why do we believe such nonsense? Well, what I found out was that in this case, there is no certified way to check if the information is right or wrong, or even if the opinion is fair or heavily biased. So, although we can get sufficient information from the internet, that is why we need to check our sources, because we don't know if the information is right, not only Wikipedia. So, I want to take nuclear energy as our case study. I am deeply interested in nuclear energy, and when I was discussing with people on that matter, I started to realize that a lot of their opinions are not really on their own, but what they actually read or what they were told of. And according to a survey by Gallup International in 2011, over 73% of the people in Germany are against nuclear energy, thus being the most hated energy source in Germany. How unlucky. And how many people of these 73% do you reckon that actually questioned on that matter and thought thoroughly? This is not only the case of nuclear energy itself, but it's all around us. And I'm not saying that all their opinions are wrong or bad or should be criticized. I'm just saying that you should have your own opinion. Now, in some Asian countries, the ones especially with democratic systems, such as South Korea, where I come from, a lot of votes depend on if the politician is conservative or progressive. That means that people don't really care on the politician or the policies, but on what political parties they're included in. This is where the misconception kicks in. When the misconception on political parties are involved in a certain election, substantial amounts of votes may sway, and that changes how the politician can actually change the country, and furthermore, shapes the society. And I don't think this is only the case of some Asian countries. It also works on any democratic country, no matter it's Germany or the US. Our ancestors used to think that our world was flat or was supported by giant elephants or turtles, you name it. And in modern days, politics, if the majority, like you, believe in a certain misconception, it has the power to change your country and the world. Now, think of the misconceptions we all have, and how many opinions you absorbed. How many of them were placed as a misconception? And is there a way to filter them? Well, the solution is quite easy than you think. First, you question what you hear. Second, you listen to the opposition. Third, you check the sources. Now that, be it about nuclear energy or your pet dog, it will get to your own opinion. Thank you.